Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here on this blustery day, but we're all kind of used to that in this area, so really appreciate you all taking the time this morning. This annual event, I should say, offers our members and the community the distinct opportunity to hear from the mayors of Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, and Dilworth, and learn about the issues that are affecting our metropolitan communities. Every day, the Chamber strives to be a leader in ensuring the growth and prosperity of the business community and our members through advocacy, education, and engagement. As we think about the goals and priorities for our cities, the Chamber's Public Affairs Committee and Board of Directors have adopted their 2018 public policy priorities. A quick reference card has been placed at your tables, and you can download the entire guide by going to the Chamber's website, fmwfchamber.com. Our region continues to change in very dramatic ways. Just as business knows no concrete geographical boundaries, this chamber represents the broader metropolitan region.
You know, the 5 and 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, that positive energy that's coming from our engaged public is going to push us in the right direction. You know, a more pedestrian friendly, more commercially friendly, you know, more growth residentially. I'm very excited because of this engaged public. I think it's going to provide an even brighter future.
This event demonstrates the Chamber's belief that all of our cities, working together as a metro, a region, will allow us to grow even stronger and continue to strengthen our region's economy. The ability to fulfill our mission revolves around all of you, our valued members. Greatly value your input and continually enhance our efforts and programs to best serve you. The format of this event will allow ample opportunities to be heard. You will have an opportunity to participate in live polls later in the program. Please take a look at the instructions on your table so you can be ready to give your input. And don't hesitate, please, to submit a question for the mayors to answer today by emailing them to events@fmwfchamber.com. events@fmwfchamber.com. We will also allow questions through microphones in the audience at the end of the program. So let's get started. It is my privilege to introduce all of you to Mark Nesbitt. Many of you know him, the North Dakota Principal Manager with Xcel Energy, our presenting sponsor for today's State of the City. Mark also serves as chair-elect of the Chamber. I've really had the privilege over many years working with Mark. He has a passion for making a difference in this region, and we are so fortunate to have him as part of our. So thank you so much. Mark?
Well, thank you for the kind introduction, Steve. It's going to be my pleasure to follow you. And first, let's give ourselves a round of applause for being hardy North Dakotans and Minnesotans and coming out on this cold, cold morning. So thank you all. It's really a great time to be a Chamber board member, and I'm proud of the many opportunities the Chamber provides its members to become involved in making our a better place to live, work, and play. Our Regional Vice President, Laura McCartney, Laura, give us a wave, is here today, and I want to acknowledge the great support Laura provides to Minnesota, North and South Dakota. All of our employees work very hard to provide clean, safe, and reliable energy to the area, and I thank them for the dedication last year and the years to come. Thanks to the growth in the area, we're now serving even more customers with natural gas and electricity. It's clear evidence that cities are successfully becoming urban hotspots. Congratulations on the remarkable business expansions many of you have experienced over the last couple of years. We're thrilled to grow right along with it. And to keep up with that growth, we plan to add 250 megawatts of wind to our energy generation portfolio in North Dakota. These projects, in addition to the Courtenay and Border wind farms completed over the last several years, will bring us to a total of 600 megawatts of wind capacity in North Dakota. That's enough power for about 350,000 average homes. So that's a big deal for us, big deal for the state. These projects will bring our investment in wind to almost $1 billion in the state. The resulting jobs and the taxes that they bring to the state are having a very positive impact. And not only does this diversify our system, reduce carbon, we have added this resource to our energy mix, and we haven't had a price increase since 2015. We won't propose an increase in 2008. So we think that truly is part of driving the strong economy. And we also continue to focus on reliability. Committed more than $100 billion to reliability efforts in the region. We're working on multiple year efforts to replace aging underground cable, enhance tree trimming and smart systems, such as our Intelleruptor switch. And we're excited about adding to our transmission backbone to provide more flexibility and redundancy. So we just have a lot of positive things going on. The chamber's involved in all of them. Many of you business leaders have a direct impact on the decisions we're making. So we're going to start with a list of thank yous to some of our different sponsors for this evening. And first off, we'll start with the community builders, and we'll roll those at this point. So we're honored to call those 52 businesses community builders. You're seeing those on the screen, and they're with us every step of the way at the chamber. Some really great companies there, and I know it's something Craig has worked really hard to grow that list of sponsors. It started with less than 10 and is now up to those 52 members. And we'd also like to thank the executive sponsors as they're being put up. Again, some truly engaged partners that we have with us here today. And then to finish out the round of people helping us, Media Productions, as always, does a spectacular job. And now we couldn't do an event like this without the table sponsors. And again, to have a sold out house, there might be a few empty seats. Maybe those people wanting to come down from Grand Forks didn't make it today. But other than that, a great turnout here. So we're very pleased to have you with us. Yep, that's quite a list and quite a commitment from those businesses to ask their employees to take time away from their very busy schedules, the projects that we're all involved in. So give yourself a round of applause for. Well, and this is a special treat for me. I know many of you look forward to who's going to be emceeing and co-hosting this event along with me, and I'm excited to welcome back Joel Heitkamp. Joel's common sense approach to the news stories of the day has made him one of America's most loved, listened to radio personalities. Please help me in welcoming Joel Heitkamp to the stage.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I was just telling all the mayors it's easy at breakfast because you don't get booed at breakfast. So there's something really good about that. The other thing I want to just point out is, could you have two better community leaders than Steve and Mark? I mean, come on, folks. Let's give them a round of applause again. I work in radio, so I know what it's like to go up to these guys and say, you know what? Can you open up your wallet a little bit and help out, and we're going to do this or that for the community? And they do. And they don't just do it with us, they do it with everybody. So that's a way of sucking up, but it's absolutely true. So, all right, time for the mayors. Let's start on the easternmost edge and work our way west. Dilworth Mayor Chad Olson is always a crowd favorite. Please join us on the stage. For the last 18 years, Mayor Olson has been a teacher at Moorhead High, a veteran. Staff Sergeant Olson has spent 19 years serving our country in the Minnesota Army National Guard. Welcome, Mayor Olson.
Tell him. Well, thank you. I will tell him. Mr. Heitkamp works in radio. I got a face for radio, so don't look that way. In all honesty, I did hit 20 years in the Minnesota Army National Guard in August, and I had the opportunity to retire. I just can't seem to let go. So hopefully you're as understanding as my wife is, and abide me some patience this morning. So I do want to thank the Chamber. This is a fantastic event. It's a once-in-a-year opportunity where I get to boast and take credit for all the hard work that everyone else in Dilworth does. So to that Chamber, thank you. Sponsors, thank you. And of course, if you look around, really, the service staff is the only one working this morning, so make sure you thank them as well. And I don't know if we're clapping because we're brave or crazy to go out in this weather, but time will tell. 2017 was a dynamic year in Dilworth. Shortly after this event, I was met by a resident, Elaine Anderson, and she came up to me, and she had so much energy, and she had so much passion, and she was telling me that Serenity Assisted Living is going to start their 3rd edition focused specifically on memory care. I'm walking out in January after this, and I'm like, holy cow, let's go, 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 go. And I was with her every step of the way. I was intoxicated by her passion. And when she talked about memory care, and she talked about increasing staff, and she talked about building a bridge in Dilworth, I didn't bat an eye. Building a bridge in Dilworth is interesting because we don't have a river, but we have Buffalo Watershed property. And I was just, yes, Elaine, whatever you need to do. And it never dawned on me that she was actually going to make this happen. In late fall 2017, Serenity Assisted Living opened their 3rd edition of their assisted living facility in Dilworth. It is specifically designed, or it's designed to be built and engineered for memory care and the treatment of Alzheimer's and the housing of Alzheimer's patients. Residents creating their own home environment within the city of Dilworth. It's going to increase staff. It's going to increase the longevity of residents' lives in Dilworth. And their 11,000 square foot, $1.3 million facility is going to be open up this spring. So last week at our first council meeting in 2018, I had the honor of awarding Elaine, the Anderson family, Tim, Elaine, Richard, and Denise, the owners of Serenity Assisted Living, the 2017 Star Business of the Year Award. It was awarded for their significant capital improvement contribution, meeting a specific need within our city and increasing employment in Dilworth. It was a very proud moment as I've watched this business grow, and this is the 2nd time they've won this award for their continuous commitment to the city of Dilworth. And that is one of many positive things happening in Dilworth in 2007 on the business front. On a somber note, the Dilworth Dairy Queen closed. I don't know if you guys saw that. Right? I know. Like everybody else in Dilworth, and it sounds like in here, like everyone kind of had this broken heart. Like, my kid was blaming the mayor for closing the Dairy Queen. I'm like, and it was great because I got to tell him how capitalism worked and that it wasn't the city closing the Dairy Queen. A great teachable moment. And my waistline was like, hey, this can't all be bad news, so relax a little bit. And true enough, capitalism did take over, and as I was explaining it to my son, I was like, here's what's going to happen. We had another resident, Al Gordon, step in and said, I'm going to repurpose a long-standing building that my family's owned in the heart of downtown Dilworth. We're going to reopen it as the Cool Cone, and sure enough, as the doors from the Dairy Queen closed, the Cool Cone opened and is offering a wide variety of ice cream treats. It's got burgers, it's got sandwiches, it's got fried chicken. And again, it goes to the heart of that entrepreneurial spirit that we see in Dilworth. It's noticing an opportunity, investing the opportunity, and then having success through hard work. I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like it took eternity for this to happen. But again, it seemed that because I kept on getting the questions, why did the city close Dairy Queen? Why did this happen? And for the record, and so everybody knows this and everybody can see this, what actually happened was Casey's General Store bought the Dairy Queen. And their plan is to develop that area of town where their store is currently sitting and grow their footprint in Dilworth. And included in this plan will be potentially to purchase Dilworth City Hall. And as this conversation really picked up in December of 2017, a lot of stuff happened in December. We took a look and say, okay, so what's our potential? I was like, let's sell it tomorrow. Why wait? Now, again, let's move. Calmer heads prevailed. Thank you, Peyton. But in 2018, the conversations with Casey's are going to impact significantly what the city of Dilworth does, not only with our city hall and that infrastructure, but as that triggers multi-use facilities like West Fargo's done with their police department and city hall, we have to have a larger look in 2018 to how we effectively use space and maximize tax dollars. So all in all, the closing of the Dairy Queen, although heartbreaking, it does have some potential. It has significant silver linings, not only for the economics, but for how the city of Dilworth is going to operate. Al Gordon stepping up, watching the Anderson family have success. It's a great feeling to watch these individuals, these entrepreneurs, enter into the free market, invest in themselves, and then have economic success. That's a great feeling when you're the mayor of a small town. It's as great a feeling when you see the giants of industry like Burlington Northern Santa Fe and Aldi Grocers invest in your town. BNSF has been a long anchor business in the city of Dilworth. They completed their construction on a new railroad terminal this fall. They completed a 14,000 square foot facility, price tag of approximately $2.1 million. But what this does is it replaces an existing building built in the 80s. It provides for a modern and functional space for the nearly 600 transportation employees who operate in and out of this terminal. They'll have more locker room space, conference rooms. They have offices for railroad leadership. And honestly, a commitment of this magnitude is a sure sign of the commitment of BNSF to our community. And last but not least, on the business front, the big news was Aldi. We had the opportunity to welcome an international grocer to Dilworth. Aldi has over 10,000 stores worldwide, including 1,600 throughout the United States. Aldi chose the city of Dilworth to make its debut in the FM area, and they did it for a specific reason. They did it because their business model showed that 34th Street corridor is an excellent place to own and successfully operate a business. And driving that point home in that 34th Street corridor, it's essential to note that symbolically, as you see this 34th Street corridor grow, this is the ideal opportunity to grow businesses from the infant stages and develop throughout the region. What else this does, and to piggyback off of we all do better together, is this highlights an interconnectedness of our region. One of the driving factors of this location is the access of residents from Moorhead and Fargo to this area. And traffic flows indicate this is a sustainable traffic flow from both locations. And as a result, we see this investment from Aldi, and we're very happy to have them in Dilworth. They have an immediate impact on commerce and employment. I have great expectations as Aldi grows in the future of this region. It's an excellent opportunity to show the strength and vitality of the city of Dilworth as a business, as a place to invest for your business. Business was good in 2017. We had a lot of action, a lot of movement. But the strength of our community really does come from the residents, and the residential growth conversation has been interesting in 2007. As we look at, I struggled to find the right word, so I'm gonna go with my gut on this one, and I'm gonna use the word largamente for the growth patterns of the city of Dilworth residentially in 2017. Sounds great, doesn't it? Largamente, right? Large, big, right? Fancy. Yeah, no, not really. Truth be told, housing starts in Dilworth were slow, and that's what largamente means. It means slow and dignified. And taking a look at our housing numbers, is we were lower than we wanted to be in 2017. And the city of Dilworth worked hard. I mean, we had conversations with builders, with developers, with landowners, and we're trying to remedy what we feel is and was the biggest holdback to building new houses in Dilworth. The fact of the matter is our residential lots were full. I believe we had 6 available lots in the city of Dilworth throughout 2017. Now that's inherently problematic if you're trying to have substantial growth in terms of the residential sector. Now, throughout the year, we were trying to implement plans that we looked at in 2016 and how can we make this work? And ultimately, none of them came to fruition. And the question was, where do we go in 2018? Well, seemingly overnight, things turned around just like that. We had DDJ Properties come in with plans and specs to complete our Summerwood 3rd Edition. They're going to come in and develop approximately 20 lots and surround the existing pond and complete the infrastructure in our Summerwood Edition. In addition to that, in our last meeting in December, we approved the plans and specs and the 429 procedures for the Prairie Hill Investment Company, which is going to develop Keystone, the Keystone residential development. Now, this is going to extend our city to the east. And when we put these 2 developments together, what we're looking at is nearly a 100-acre project. Approximately, in the first development alone, it'll move us from our 6 available lots in 2016 to approximately 116 in 2008. In addition to that, the second phase of the Keystone development will also bring us another 70 residential lots. Now, this is very substantial because, as I was saying, we started off relatively slowly in the city of Dilworth, but we finished strong. We are finishing strong. These 2 developments are going to resolve our issue with available lots. They're going to maintain the integrity of existing neighborhoods. We're going to offer high quality, affordable housing, and we're going to grow the city of Dilworth in a very pragmatic and sustainable fashion. And the goal here is for long-term sustainable growth, so we can minimize the ebbs and flows that we've seen and have had to plan for. Now, in another effort to sustain existing housing, we've also acquired a property. We foreclosed a property that was seen as blight. We've condemned it. We will remove it, and hopefully in 2018 we can work with Habitat for Humanity and bring them back to Dilworth to develop affordable housing throughout our neighborhood. So it's not only the new developments that we're looking at, but we're also making sure that we're maintaining our existing infrastructure. It's exciting for me. The Habitat for Humanity is exciting for me because this will be the first time in well over a decade that we'll have the opportunity to work together. Again, residential growth started off slowly, largamente, take that to work today. However, we had a substantial finish, and it promises to have a great future for the city of Dilworth. I have one more topic that I want to close on, and this is something that we touched on in 2016 here in the State of the Cities. Is one of the things that when we asked, the question was asked by the audience, sort of, what do you want to see from DC? And my comment really dealt on, I just don't want us to lose our humanity. And I say that because when we were going through and talking about the highlights in the city of Dilworth, one of the biggest highlights came from the efforts of our police chief and his efforts to better serve the community. Now, we all have fantastic employees, right? The city of Dilworth has got a fire department. I mean, and they do their all volunteer fire department. They got extraction gear. They help with accidents. They got agricultural equipment so they can go fight wildfires. But they also have a heart that's as big as outside. In 2017, their Home for the Holidays program, where they provide food and gifts for children and families in need, exceeded over 200 families in the Dilworth and surrounding community. That's above and beyond. Now, to me, that's what makes them exceptional, right? And when we look at our police department, in 2017, we added our officer. Right? Our chief worked out an MOU with BNSF so we could use and work with Special Agent Gortmarker, gave her an office in Minnesota. And this allows this BNSF special agent to work with the city of Dilworth and work throughout the communities where BNSF holds property. So the day-to-day operations still holding true, but on the service end, 2 of our officers last year earned the life-saving medal. Officer Browning and Chief Sharp responded to a opioid overdose. Officer Browning implemented Narcan twice, and before the EMTs arrived, they had successfully saved this resident. We had Officer Burton was on a call for a missing person. There was an extensive search done. Even after hours of search, he did not give up. He ended up walking through a bean field, used his flashlight and caught a flash or a glimmer on a purse. This individual was not clothed for the extreme weather, had taken some medication and was intoxicated. He dragged her to the street and helped EMT save that individual's life. That's service above and beyond. Our chief organized lunch with a cop. And this is common for officers and police departments to do this on occasion. Chief Sharp organized lunch with the cop, and they were the first ones to do so to run a program all summer long. 10 weeks, 3 days a week, our police officers were able to provide lunch for a total of 1,185 students, young people, who may have gone without a meal during that day. He expanded the backpack program as he partnered with Great Plains Food Bank to supply lunches over the weekend during the summer, really taking and expanding an idea from the school district. And as he saw these needs throughout the summer, he was able to incorporate places like the Pizza Ranch, Qdoba, and Jimmy John's. So those from Moorhead, by the way, right? Right, and then a grant from the Otto Bremer Foundation to make this work. Again, 1,200 kids did not go hungry throughout the summer because of the efforts of our chief and the officers that took part. Extending this past the borders of the city of Dilworth, our chief went out and made an effort for the Hurricane Harvey relief effort. He lined up trailers, trucks, organized social media to get participation, and overall they were able to receive 18,000 pounds of supplies, ranging from food, dog food, cleaning supplies, a wide array of necessary items for hurricane relief. And when my sons dropped the stuff off, I looked at the trailer and said, wow, that's pretty good. I didn't realize they had 2. Right? When they talked about the impact on social media, the chief reminded me a general post of our police department receives about 100 or 200 likes. If there's a special announcement, if there's a warning or alert, they might see 500 to 1,000. Okay, this specific instance, 162,000 likes on Facebook. And it's these efforts highlighted by our police department that really bring us back to why we do what we do. Right? We are committed to the residents of the city of Dilworth. We are committed to our community. We are committed to the greater Fargo-Moorhead area. It's an honor and a pleasure. I'm sorry I got long-winded, but I tell you what, we have some of the greatest employees, and I'm glad that they work for the city of Dilworth. Thanks for your time. Have a great 2018.
Thank you, Mayor Olson, and we appreciate being updated on the great things happening in Dilworth, and want to especially thank you for that strong finish and the focus on the employees. And I think a round of applause for all the city employees. If many of you work like I do on a daily basis with those employees, they put to rest that idea that government workers aren't necessarily engaged. The workers I deal with on a daily basis, even this morning, I visited with 2 city staffers that were up early on a morning like this to come and visit with Laura and I. So a round of applause for all the city employees. Well, we're going to continue working our way east and invite the mayor of Moorhead to the stage. Mayor Delray Williams is a retired certified public accountant and now has been mayor of Moorhead for 4 full years. She is an active member of many local organizations in the community. And now I introduce Mayor Williams. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So about 5 years ago, as a first-time ever elected person, I came here not having been on city council. And they actually had a different way of doing this. They just asked us questions. And you were expected to know them all, even though you might not have participated in that year. And so that year, I dressed up. I had a dress. You see me around, you don't dress too often. I had pumps on, lipstick on, and then this year I thought, oh man, it's cold. I'm wearing a turtleneck. So this is my last year for this, so I'm kind of in that like, oh, this is the last state of this, and so every little time during the course of the year, I'll be in that kind of mode. And this is one of them. This is one of them that I am reflective of us. And it has been a great, great time in Moorhead. I am so proud of my city. We've had a lot of prosperity. We've had a lot of development. And I'm going to show you a video that I think will give you an idea of what the things have happened in the last 4 years. Thank you. In raw numbers, Moorhead's grown from an estimated population of about 41,000 in 2014 to nearing 45,000 4 years later. 640 new single-family homes and 964 new multifamily apartments have been constructed for a total of 1,604 new homes. Not only did we grow through building construction, we welcomed the Oakport neighborhood to the north through annexation, bringing more than 500 existing households into our city, a planned growth arrangement that Moorhead and Oakport Township committed to 25 years earlier. Many of our existing and new households are growing kids. This means Moorhead's public school system must continue to grow to educate our youngest residents. In September 2017, Moorhead welcomed its first students to the new Dorothy Dodds Elementary K-4 campus and a new West Campus of Horizon Middle School for grades 5 and 6. Concordia added a state-of-the-art integrated science building. Minnesota State University Moorhead and M-State also made a number of significant renovations. Each year, progress has been made on several new and improved transportation infrastructure projects. Moorhead can now boast the coolest interstate interchange in the metro area with the diverging Diamond Interchange. The project was a significant undertaking, and I must say that the construction phase was long and challenging for our residents and businesses. Now that it's complete, Moorhead will benefit from improved safety and traffic flow resulting from this major transportation investment for decades to come. The next great transportation improvement is now on the horizon. The railroad grade separation at 2021 Street will begin construction in 2018, becoming operation within 2 to 3 years. This project will allow more reliable and timely response for emergency vehicles encountering train traffic and greatly improve safety for pedestrians and vehicles, especially near our high school. Just as Fargo and West Fargo have, Moorhead implemented an enhanced curbside recycling program by making it no sort. accepting a greater variety of products and including multifamily apartments. We're now collecting 5 times more at the curb than before and have increased total collection by about 125 tons per month. While this is a great start, we're hoping to move the sustainability needle even further and are in the pre-development stages of a MRF, Materials Recovery Facility in Moorhead, spearheaded by Clay County. Right now, the recyclables from Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead are transported 250 miles to Shakopee. With a MRF located in Moorhead, we can save those transportation costs. This may also expand recycling opportunities throughout the region. Recycling is one element of Moorhead's recent Green Step City designation that helps us monitor our sustainability and quality of life goals. As we've added rooftops, Moorhead has also added a number of storefronts, manufacturing facilities, and other business entities in the past 4 years. Our business community is engaged in the community with the Chamber as well as the Moorhead Business Association and the newly formed Downtown Moorhead Group. This civic engagement from our businesses is contributing to community vitality and fun. For our students with new events like the Welcoming Bridge Bash, 2018 will be year 3, and entertaining the whole community by sustaining the annual July 4th fireworks display known as 5656 Ooh and Ah. While I hope none of you ever experience our new correctional facility directly, I am pleased to share that the new Law Enforcement Center will greatly enhance the efficiency, safety, and effectiveness of our police department and criminal justice system. An initiative that I am very proud of is the establishment of an Art and Culture Commission for Moorhead. The Art and Culture Commission members have provided the spark for an accessible art that we can all enjoy, residents and visitors alike. Public art developed during the past 4 years includes sidewalk art and poetry, art-wrapped utility boxes in the MSUM neighborhood, 56560 Pride murals on Ace Hardware, Raid's Auto Repair, and Junkyard Brewery. And I smile whenever I stop in or drop by. Water tower art in the Oakport neighborhood. And we have public art elements to look forward to as a part of the new 8th and Main redevelopment, Block E. The Arts and Culture Commission has just finished development of a framework roadmap to help the city and larger community to be mindful and deliberate about finding opportunities for more art and culture in Moorhead's future. We'd like to share our hometown pride of NHL great Matt Cullen, 3-time Stanley Cup champion and current Minnesota Wild team player. He grew up skating on one of Moorhead's 9 neighborhood rinks just blocks from his home. Moorhead Youth Hockey Association will begin construction of an expansion to the youth hockey arena to be known as the Cullen Hockey Center, allowing even more ice time for boys and girls to participate in hockey. This past summer, the Minnesota Timberwolves christened a new basketball court at Moorhead's Woodlawn Park. As we watched the excited kids shoot hoops with the Timberwolves players at the grand opening, it was fun to imagine that some of these young spuds may pursue basketball with the same determination as Matt Cullen pursued his passion for hockey in Moorhead. In addition to sports, Moorhead's made great progress in other recreation opportunities. The Blue Goose Trail will soon be constructed, connecting Blue Stem Center for the Arts with Gooseberry Park. Along with Homestead and Downtown Trails, these walking and bike trails are part of Moorhead's plan for the Red River Corridor property purchased for flood control. We've turned the important flood mitigation property acquisitions into a recreation amenity the whole community can enjoy. Moorhead has added new public facilities to M.B. Johnson Park and paved some of the trails to make the park accessible to people with mobility challenges. But not to worry, there's still a number of natural, unpaved trails for hiking, biking, and skiing. Moorhead's many successes during the past 4 years that I've been mayor are due in large part to a dedicated staff and city council. At the beginning of 2017, we welcomed Chris Volkers as Moorhead's new city manager. And at the end of 2017, we hired Dan Molly as Moorhead's assistant city manager. Along with strong department leadership and a dedicated workforce, Moorhead is well positioned to continue to grow and prosper. So you can see why we have a lot of Moorhead pride in our community. We are very proud of that. And Tim, do you remember that bus ride last year? Dan just walked on over. And so we're really excited. There's a number of things happening in 2018 that are have gotten council and staff, all of us, we're waiting for them to happen. We can't wait to be able to announce them because we are on the grow. It's very exciting. And I can't tell you how proud and pleased I am to have been able to be the mayor of this fabulous, fabulous city, best city in America, small city in America. And so next year, you'll see a different person here. And I know Moorhead will continue to grow and prosper, and they will do really well. And thank you.
Thanks, Mayor Williams, and congratulations on your very successful term in office. Now we're going to continue moving our way to the east, and I'm going to get a chance to welcome Fargo Mayor Dr. Tim Mahoney, elected in a special election held in April of 2015, and he's been a member of the Fargo City Commission since October 2005. In addition to his job as mayor, Dr. Mahoney also works as a surgeon at Internal Medicine Associate, Lake Region Healthcare in Fergus Falls. Please help me welcome Mayor Mahoney.
Good morning. City of Fargo, 6-time national champions of the NDSU Bison. None of the other mayors can say that. In an effort to honor Craig's thing that we don't want to go too long, we went a little far in our video, so I'm going to get you right into it. But our city of Fargo, I want you to remember 4 major words in regards to our city. We're innovative, responsive, efficient, and strategic. And you'll see in the video over and over how many things that our team does to try to make your city the best run city in the United States. So we can roll the video. And
Rich 2017 was a significant year for Fargo, highlighted by its population continuing an upward trajectory, its people working to advance the goal of being a welcoming, embracing community, and its economic base being strengthened and diversified. The state of the city is strong. In this era of growth and opportunity, the City of Fargo team is proud to showcase the innovative, efficient, responsive, and strategic successes of this year, along with the work in progress to help build an even better tomorrow for Fargo. Innovative. In 2017, Fargo signed wastewater agreements with West Fargo and Horace. City Commissioner Tony Gehrig's support of utility regionalization efforts have been appreciated. Fargo's wastewater utility department now has agreements with 13 different cities, subdivisions, and sewer districts to treat wastewater. The Fargo Police Department held several Unity events throughout the year to enhance interactions with area youth. A music video was produced to highlight the community trust officers and students from Jefferson Elementary and Fargo South in helping to promote this mission.
Officers Bloom and Niemeyer, you really impressed the community and everybody in City Hall with your Unity video. It was inspiring, creative, and really brought people together. I was wondering, could you teach me how to rap a little ditty? I was thinking my rap would also be called Unity. It'd be geared towards my commissioners to help make our meetings like a little bit more harmonious.
I got some for you right here, Mayor.
Oh, great.
You ready?
Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
Commissioners, Please hear my heart. We must stand strong and be set apart. For without unity, we will crumble quick, and I hope to change that through the rhyme that I spit. Commissioners united, never divided. Your fuel to the fire, so let's ignite it. Mayor out.
All right, that was interesting. Let's get back on script. Fargo was recently named the first place winner of the Georgetown University Energy Prize nationwide competition that evaluated the way in which American cities consume energy. Area youth, utility companies, citizens, private industry, and NDSU researchers all worked collaboratively to win this $5 million prize. The Transit Department MatBus was recognized by Busline magazine for being an industry leader in implementing new technology to enhance the ability of people with disabilities in mobility devices to utilize the fixed route service more independently. The Engineering Department, along with the City Attorney's Office, worked to author an agreement which will allow free Wi-Fi to the public in certain areas of the city, starting with downtown. The Department of Planning and Development completed substantial work in bringing to fruition the Roberts Common Parking Facility in downtown Fargo. ROCO, one of the first public-private partnerships in downtown, was officially opened by Mayor Mahoney and City Commissioner Tony Grinberg in June.
I'm flying out to meetings today just after returning from Frisco last week. Both times I had to park a long ways from the airport. My eyelids are frozen and my suitcase wheels are full of snow. It sure would be nice to have a parking ramp like ROCO here at Hector International Airport. Hey Sean, are you getting close to getting on board?
Moving right along here, the team in Human Resources continues to develop a robust training program for all city employees, with every employee taking part in diversity training this year. An entirely new city website was launched in mid-2017. The site was completely reorganized and redesigned to make it easier to navigate for residents, business owners, and visitors. Efficient. The city recently completed Phase 1 of the former landfill reclamation project, which will ultimately provide Fargo with an additional 25 years of landfill space for the future. Recycling will also play a vital role in extending the life of the landfill. The introduction of all-in-one recycling has been received incredibly well, with nearly 90% of residents, or 23,000 individual homes, electing to take part in the program.
Our all-in-one recycling program has been so well received by the public. It's a win-win. We're extending the life of our landfill while we're helping the environment. This just goes to show you that we can successfully commingle things that really have nothing in common and are totally opposites, like plastic and newspaper, like glass and aluminum, and like Commissioner Tony Gehrig and me.
Those were, well, quite the comparisons, Mayor. Substantial cost savings were realized when the city elected to change its employees' health insurance provider. Beginning on January 1st of 2018, the new contract with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Dakota will save the city's general fund $2.6 million over the course of 2018. Significant reorganizations have occurred in the engineering, planning, and utilities departments to grant authority to mid-level managers in making operating decisions. This will help to maximize efficiencies, further advance customer service initiatives, and provide timely responses. At the request of citizens, Public Works staff members evaluated and identified a viable solution to the beet juice additive that had been used on city streets. Beginning in 2017, a replacement product, which is clear in color and has no odor, has been implemented.
When I became mayor, I met with each department head and assured them that I'd always be available, day or night, flood or snow. I'm always ready to pitch in and help out Team Fargo. Today I'm leading the Public Works Snowplow Brigade in clearing the roads. I'm a Teddy Roosevelt fan, and so in honor of his leadership at San Juan Hill, Fargo Rough Riders, let's charge this snow!
Do Any of you wonder if he hit a mailbox while driving that snowplow? Speaking of roads, the city completed a major roadway and interstate ramp improvement project in 2017 along the 32nd Avenue South corridor by partnering with the North Dakota DOT. It also collaborated with West Fargo on the 12th Avenue North project. In 2018, major ventures will include improvements to University Drive South, 10th Street North, Robert Street, 4th Street South, and 13th Avenue South. Responsive. Inspections team members have created an online portal for viewing construction projects currently being reviewed to provide real-time information to a variety of stakeholders and the public. Inspections is also redoubling its efforts to focus on dilapidated buildings in the city. Several departments work together on the site plan reviews, inspections, and permitting for the new $500 million Sanford Medical Center in Southwest Fargo. The facility is a fantastic addition to the entire metro community, and the grand opening was especially memorable with Fergie, Lionel Richie, and North Dakota's own Carson Wentz on hand to officially open the medical center. Speaking of Carson Wentz, I believe the mayor has a few words.
In Fargo and all through North Dakota, we're so proud of Carson. His recent injury is just a small bump in the road, and we'll see him back next year. In the meantime, I'm proud to offer the services of another famous bison, Deputy Mayor Dave Pepcorn. Look at that, he still got it, folks. We're working with the Eagles coach Peterson to make sure Dave can travel back for Fargo meetings. And even better, he's going to be close to D.C. to help us lobby with the congressional delegation.
Since we're on the topic of the Fargo Dome, its 2017 attendance numbers were estimated to have approached 540,000 people, which substantially exceeds its goals. The NDSU Bison football playoff games surely helped the bottom line. Speaking of the herd, congratulations to the players, coaches, and fans on winning that beautiful 6th FCS trophy last weekend. The vital work of the Mayor's Blue Ribbon Commission on Addiction continues. Aided by the professionals in Fargo Cass Public Health, all middle and high schools in Cass County now have Narcan nasal spray as part of the preventative community-wide response to the opioid crisis. All Fargo police officers and firefighters have been trained on administering Narcan and have a supply in each of their cars and trucks. The Fargo Neighborhood Revitalization Initiative, a partnership between the city and Gate City Bank, provided a $2 million low-interest loan program to revitalize and rehabilitate older homes in Fargo. The city's outdoor warning siren upgrade has been completed, and an additional siren added on the north side of Fargo, bringing the total of outdoor warning sirens to 37. The Fargo Fire Department has developed and begun to offer a free CPR class for local businesses to educate their employees on the proper way to deliver this vital life-saving procedure. Strategic. Work is rapidly continuing on Fargo's new City Hall in downtown Fargo, with completion expected in the third quarter of 2018. The new City Hall facility features 150,000 square feet of space for 12 different city divisions and was designed to maximize innovation while also being efficient.
I'm sitting here in the new City Commission chamber, and you know what? This room does look a little like that chicken coop concept peddled by the Forum. It's a good thing that the City Hall construction is still in full swing, and it will be a shining example of efficiency, innovation, and architectural creativity when it's completed. I can't wait to take the Forum's editorial team on a tour. Our new City Hall is truly going to be far more.
With the completion of the new City Hall and the demolition of the current structure on the horizon for this year, discussions on the design of the City Plaza green space to the south of the new facility will be undertaken this year, in addition to a comprehensive look at the future of the Fargo Civic Center and its potential repurposing into a performing arts arena. As Fargo works diligently in 2018 to complete its in-town flood protection efforts, The FM Area Diversion Project continues to be a top priority for the city and its residents. The task force, established jointly by North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum and Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton, was vitally important in bringing the various parties to the table in an effort of cooperation and problem solving. City Commissioner John Strand served on the task force and effectively represented Fargo during its discussions. City leaders are encouraged by the recommendations of the task force and are optimistic that construction on the project will resume this year. The police department recently moved a portion of its operations into the Border States Electric Building on 25th Street, which will eventually become the new headquarters for the Fargo Police Department. Retrofitting this existing structure will cost far less than building a new structure, while also providing a facility capable of future expansion. The Fargo Public Library system continues to provide high-demand events and activities to the community, with a record 26,000 people attending library events in 2017. It will now begin implementing its new strategic goals and actions plans to ensure its collections and services are aligned with the needs and desires of the community. Team Fargo is looking at additional technology additions in 2018 to help its residents, such as allowing citizens to pay their utility bills or parking tickets by text, and also evaluating the feasibility of mobile ticketing when riding MatBus. Fargo adopted its first Public Arts Master Plan in 2017. This is an inaugural major planning effort to communicate the goals and visions for all types of art in public spaces within the city. Additionally, the Planning and Development Department led a comprehensive downtown master plan called Downtown in Focus to its adoption by the City Commission in December. The $120 million expansion to Fargo's water treatment plant, which will increase capacity by another 15 million gallons per day, is over 80% complete and scheduled for full operation in 2018. The wastewater department recently secured a low-interest state loan to begin construction of an expansion of the treatment plant. The expansion will double the capacity of the facility and allow it to serve a regional population of 270,000 people. On behalf of the Board of Fargo City Commissioners, thank you to this community, to the people, civic organizations, businesses, and partners who make the Fargo-Moorhead Metro the nation's best place to live, raise a family, and operate a business. Together, let's continue the collective work of being far more.
A lot of stuff is going on in the city, and I'm just glad to be part of it. I want to thank the Chamber for having this event today, and I do want to make one shout out as well. Mayor Williams will be in her last year as a mayor, and the diversion is going to go forward, and she's going to be the leadership of the DA board that gets that done this year. So I'd like to give her a round of applause now just to thank her for those efforts. Okay, Rich, you're on.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. Any video that long should have popcorn, maybe an intermission, maybe a bathroom. You know what I mean. Last but not least is West Fargo Mayor Rich Matter, and he's served the city as mayor since 2002. He's now enjoying his retirement from NDSU, and he's about, I'm sure, to tell you how his hair is getting back to normal. So that's an inside joke. He'll tell you in a second. Welcome, Mayor Matter.
Hey. Jeez. Tim, I don't know why you're running for re-election. You could be a rap star. What the hell? Huh? You did good. Jeez. Yeah, I tell you. Also, quickly, I'd also like to offer my congratulations to you, Mayor Williams. It's been a been a pleasure and an honor serving as mayor alongside of you. I thank you for your service. For those of you that are West Fargo residents, an update, the snowplows are still out and will be at least through tomorrow morning. They have just started on cleaning the local streets, so hopefully we'll get that all done soon. And so I too have a video that I'd like to show you. Not as I don't do a rap in it, but we'll see.
Welcome to the city of West Fargo. West Fargo is more than a location, it's a small town with big city amenities, student-oriented school district, extensive park network, and a solid sense of community. The city has grown to a population of 35,000, and more than 9,000 people come to West Fargo every day for work. This year, West Fargo has many accomplishments to celebrate. Let me take you on a ride to show you how West Fargo continues to truly be a city on the go.
Hey, wait for me. Oh well, we'll catch up to him a little later, but I want to tell you that we are going to take a tour of the city of West Fargo just to show you that we truly are the city on the grow. You know, somebody forgot to tell me how to start this darn thing, so we'll just catch up in our own way, okay?
As the city grows, infrastructure continues to be a major focus of the city. In 2017, we completed work to urbanize the 12th Avenue North corridor. We completed Phase 1 of the 13th Avenue and 9th Street East intersection. The project consists of reconstructing and widening the intersection to accommodate dual left turn lanes in all directions and upgrades to outdated, undersized utilities. This will increase safety and traffic flow for one of the most used intersections in the state. By fall of 2018, the city of West Fargo will connect to the city of Fargo for sewage treatment. This partnership will allow the city to decommission the city's lagoons.
Thanks for the invitation, Rich. I've never been here before.
God, Rich, why did we have to come all the way out here? We've got some great places to eat in downtown Fargo.
Well, I tell you, Tim, I wanted to bring you out here to West Fargo because I know in Fargo a good steak can be hard to find.
Oh, Rich, why are you giving me so much crap today?
You don't know how much crap I'm sending your way.
You North Dakota guys are so weird. There must be something in your water.
Speaking of water, a toast.
Great water. All right?
Looking ahead, the City Commission finalized plans for a major Cheyenne Street reconstruction project that will occur in 2018 and 2019. This project will add lanes to Cheyenne Street, construct a new interchange at I-94, and increase the walkability of this corridor with multi-use paths, pedestrian underpass, and intersection upgrades to improve safety. The West Fargo Public School District continues to be the fastest growing school district in the state of North Dakota. The district opened its 13th elementary school in the fall of 2017, began building its 14th elementary school, and approved the addition of a 15th elementary school. The district also opened the Hobart Aquatic Center and the West Fargo Sports Arena. In West Fargo, planning for the future never stops. We continued our comprehensive plan development to provide new direction for the growth and development of West Fargo. We also started a 13th Avenue corridor study to examine improvements to this important road. We launched a new website with tools for citizens to connect and engage more freely with the city. Within a few short years, Veterans Boulevard has grown from a field to a full-fledged retail and commercial district filled with great places to work, eat, shop, and play. In fact, Duluth Trading Company announced plans to build a new store in the Veterans Boulevard area this year, and Wex Health began construction on a second building and was named North Dakota's 2017 Economic Development Project of the Year. In 2017, the revitalization of downtown West Fargo was full steam ahead with the completion of Cheyenne Plaza. Construction also started on a second building called Pioneer Place, and a city-owned plaza will offer residents a public space for community events. These mixed-use buildings will offer commercial, retail, and residential spaces. Another great example of smart planning through infill and mixed-use development is West Fargo's Gateway West development. This project will bring a grocery store, commercial, and residential development to a well-established neighborhood to offer convenient, accessible amenities. Another big announcement for West Fargo in 2017 was the unveiling of plans for the lights at Cheyenne 32. This development will include 3 mixed-use buildings clustered around a large public amenity space geared toward community programming such as concerts, ice rinks, and craft shows. In conjunction with the Red River Valley Fair Association, the City of West Fargo also announced plans to study the construction of a convention center and hotel at the fairgrounds. The proposed convention center would be 84,000 square feet of flexible space to host large crowds for trade shows, ballroom-type events, meetings, and speakers. In addition to these major projects, the City of West Fargo saw many groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, and business expansions in 2017. As a growing community, managing safety is a #1 priority. In 2017, our fire department started to transition to a career volunteer department for the first time in its history. This change will help the fire department reach new standards of service that includes faster response time and providing emergency medical assistance. The hybrid career volunteer system will allow the department to maintain these standards while sustaining a lower tax burden than similar-sized communities. We also appointed Heath Yonke as our Chief of Police in 2017. Chief Yonke brings a unique blend of law enforcement and leadership experience to the community and is working hard to continue quality protection along with renewed engagement with the community. Our community also found lots of reasons to celebrate together. From the Taste of West Fargo to Cruise Night to West Fest, we gathered together and celebrated the achievements that make West Fargo a special place. I hope you have enjoyed our trip around West Fargo. As you can see, we have a lot to be thankful for. We are truly a city on the grow that continues to have that small town feel. We've accomplished a lot, but 2018 and beyond promises to be even better.
Thank you. So as you can see, it was another good year in West Fargo, and I still maintain it was a pretty good trade. Tim is sending West Fargo good Fargo water, and in return, we're sending our sewage his way. So I think that's a darn good trade there, Tim. Thanks for that. Again, thank you to the Chamber for inviting us here today. It's always a pleasure and always fun to try to figure out why a room full of people would want to listen to 4 people babble on and on, but thank you for coming.
Thank you, mayors. I want to remind everyone, now here's where you get out your phones, right? Remind everyone that you can email your questions for the mayors to events@fmwfchamber.com. That's fmwfchamber.com. But first, let's give our audience here a chance to weigh in on some of the issues the community has been dealing with through some live polling. Now, again, get out your phones. To join our poll, you'll need to first text FMWF Chamber to 22333. That's 22333. And from there, you can text in your answers to each of the questions as prompted. Now, here's your first question on the screen. Ready? And we're going to try to tie these into what some of the answers were before so that you can see how things have either progressed or how your hearts and souls are in the same place. So we're going to start with a question that we've asked the last 3 years at this event. And what we want to do is perceive the most important issues facing the community. So audience, here's your first question, and up on the screen are instructions again on how to answer it. Which of these do you see as the biggest issue impacting our community? 1, arts and entertainment options. 2, permanent flood protection. 3, housing. 4, opioid addiction. 5, taxes. Or 6, workforce. Please text 1 to vote for answer 1, 2 to vote for answer 2, and you kind of get the point, right? It's like watching a horse race a little bit, only one horse is way ahead, isn't it? And I don't think some of those really surprise many of you, do they? Mark, some of those are pretty familiar, aren't they?
Pretty consistent. Chamber continues to have a task force around workforce development. We're working on a career academy and education. This is maybe just a chance for me to say we had an Eggs and Issues last week where we had the local superintendents come and visit with us, and the fact that there's going to be a wholesale change in the area, maybe a chance to, with seeing how important education is, maybe a chance to recognize our outgoing superintendents, Dr. Flowers, Dr. Schatz, and Dr. Kovash with a round of applause here. And the other thing I will say, the Chamber continues to use this as a baseline to drive our involvement. We have a very strong task force. We'll continue to support that permanent flood protection issue as well as the workforce development. One of the issues, Joel, what else would you add to that list?
Well, you know, arts and entertainment always goes low until you bring up the fact that how much money they bring in. I think the video by Dr. Mahoney was an excellent example of you can make an argument that the Bison are entertainment. And everybody from my town, if you want to steal from anybody in that town, do it on Bison game day because all of your house is empty. I mean, they're coming to Fargo, and concerts are coming to Fargo. So I think we take some of that for granted. The other thing I would add is this is your opportunity as business community. You've got the State College of Science right here. You can talk to them about what you need from them. You've got, I shouldn't have named them because there's so many others that you can talk to in the education.
Well, thank you, and thank you for participating in that poll. And we're going to move on to our next question now. And I think I will read it. I have two choices where to read. I'm going to turn business tax incentive programs have been in the news with discussion about continuing them. Should cities continue to take advantage of these to encourage growth, or should they reevaluate their effectiveness? And the same process that you just used to vote will work for this question as well.
It's moving as it goes, Mark. I see that, but it surprises me a little bit that it's as close as what it is. Yep, I think in years past, it's been overwhelming that these incentives need to be used by the business community.
Yeah, I think there's still a strong evidence that incentives work, but the focus being to make sure they're applied in the right fashion, that there's a long-term return from those investments. So overall, it still looks like something the community is strongly in support of, but based on doing it in the right way.
And as the numbers shake out, they're starting to get more towards the norm of what they were. And obviously, those are questions that might come up to the mayors as well.
And I think you saw from the mayor's videos and Mayor Olson's discussion that these things don't happen in a vacuum. Hardworking economic development groups, city commissioners, getting together to attract businesses and provide those jobs. The reason we have a workforce issue is because we continue to create jobs in the area.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to all for responding. Let's move on to see what questions you have before we wrap this up. And I give you my word, we might have run a little bit late there, but we take a lot of pride in getting you back to your workplaces on schedule. So we're going to try to do that, Mark.
And Joel, I might, are you getting some questions on your device, or do I need to move over and join you there?
Yeah, no, I'm getting some.
All right,
here,
good.
so.
Well, I'll start off.
I've got Tracy's cell. Do you want to know about her personal and private life, or do you... Now she's nervous, right?
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with a question, and we just showed that it isn't the most important thing going on, but most of the videos did talk about the efforts the cities are taking to hold taxes down, the partnering efforts. And we won't always ask each of the mayors that, but this question would be, what are the cities doing to hold taxes down, and what are the upward pressure on the taxes in your community? So we can start right from this side with Mayor Olson.
Well, I like to think that we're leading the way, right, Del Rey?
We are.
About time you guys got on board with sharing city services, but hey, you know, all things in time, gentlemen, all things in time. And I think that's an important one. We've had a water and sewer agreement for the better part of 15 years between the city of Moorhead and Dilworth. And what that allows us to do is, you know, wisely invest our tax dollars for when it comes time for major infrastructure projects. When we're dealing with new residential developments and new business developments, they also require those city services. And because of our cooperative nature, we're able to keep those costs low so we can invest money on increasing the infrastructure. And I think that's worked out well for Dilworth. And I hope it's worked out well for Moorhead also.
Good, thank you. Mayor Williams?
We continue to do those kinds of discussions as we go. And the other piece that we're doing right now is we've just embarked into major strategic planning, because that'll make us look at everything. Do we need these pieces of the property? Are these the most important things that the community wants? And as we grow, growing is good, because it does bring in different and new revenues in, but you need to make sure you're planning for them in a smart way, so that when you grow your budget, it grows in a way that the citizens can feel good with.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney.
I think I copy that. It helps, but the other thing that also helps is you need growth with the city. Both Rich and I recognize is that you increase your commercial base, that takes the pressure off the residential base. So we've dropped the mill levy every year that I've been mayor. And what we're doing is that our commercial base has grown from, it used to be residents paid 51% of the tax bill, 47 was commercial. We've flipped that now, and it's 53% commercial, 47% is residential. So we're making all those efforts to do that. In addition to that, when you regionalize, rather than West Fargo building a $100 million plant, we together are building a $100 million plant. And to take all the crap he's given me, I'm building a $120 million addition to our sewage plant.
Thanks for that, Tim.
Yep. And Mayor Matter, your chance for a rebuttal.
That was kind of a crappy answer, you know that. Anyway, I've been blessed with a great city commission. I think everybody in the commission really works hard at keeping everything in perspective and keeping our costs as low as possible. There's always that fine, delicate balance of, do you want the snow plows out today or not? You know, you have to make that decision. And I think we, as a city, have done a very good job of keeping our costs as low as possible.
Couple of questions coming in. This one directed at Mayor Mahoney. Is the Skyway going to be connected to the new City Hall?
Initially not, but as we get the plaza redesigned, it will be eventually.
This one directed to Mayor Olson. The infrastructure that is needed for all the housing development that you're going to have, are you keeping up on your water sewer costs, and how are you doing it?
In terms of costs, we'll go back to our agreement, water, sewer with Moorhead, that's one way. And the other way is with the planning, and this is where my hat goes off to our staff again, because as the developments come in for Aldi, and as the development comes in for these two new residential subdivisions, what they've done is put the plans together for water and sewer upgrades to the 34th Street corridor to continue business growth. So that's in place and ready to go. And in turn, what we'll look at doing for the residential subdivisions is we will build the infrastructure to the specs. So not only are we able to service the incoming two new developments, but it'll position us perfectly to replace infrastructure for the next two developments as well. And how we're going to pay for this is we're going to actually stagger the payments. So as our second wastewater line to Moorhead expires, we'll take those revenues and use them for the new infrastructure. So the timing is great, the plan is fantastic, and my hat's off to our city administrator and our planner and our engineers.
This one directed at Mayor Williams. Mayor Williams, in terms of this ever-changing flood protection, this diversion, is Moorhead going to change how much it's going to put into it? How are you looking at any aid Moorhead can put into the funding?
By the agreement, Moorhead put zero in it. The question will be, does Minnesota put more into it? And that is still to be seen, but as we're negotiating and having conversations with Minnesota DNR, I think they're open to be able to do more than they would have before. So that's a very positive thing because they understand the project better and have become a partner with us.
Mark, are you getting any more over there?
I don't have any more questions, so I would encourage the audience to bring a few forward,
So let me ask a couple. Mayor Mahoney, you mentioned Commissioner Gehrig on there. One of the arguments he made on my show the other day was the investment in those very things that the business community here supports. TIF funding, Renaissance funding, angel funding, those type of things. But he made a comment that got the attention of the audience the other day, which is, why just downtown? Why focus on the area of town where property is valued at the most? Is it time to look at it in terms of using those very things the business community has in other sectors of town and not just downtown?
We don't do just downtown. We've done several projects on seed companies and different companies outside, mattress companies, different areas throughout the city. So initially it was designed for a lot of manufacturing in different areas. But what's happening downtown is now we have a need for 3,500 to 5,000 places or apartments for people to live in. What we're seeing is the people that service many of the retail areas downtown need places to stay as well. So our struggle is going to be to get affordable housing, and where you utilize those incentives is going to be a question. In the city of Fargo, less than 1% of any of our tax money is used for incentives. So 99% is basically handled a different way. We are going to look at some of the differences on the incentives now just a little bit more closely to make sure that when we do have apartments come down, they're affordable housing, that the workforce can be participating. So we are relooking at all those.
I want to direct this question and work its way left a little bit because you're all looking at growth. And if the answer is the same, just say ditto, okay? But the frustration that you as mayors must have at times trying to educate the public between the difference between tax increases in terms of mills versus evaluations of homes. Because as your cities grow, the homes and the values of them grow as well. Mayor Matter, people are talking about massive property tax increases. How do you deal with that? You're sitting there having a steak like you just saw, and somebody comes up to you and says, quit increasing my property taxes. How do you answer that?
That's a very good question. And, we have been decreasing the mill rates, but the thing is the property values are going up. So that is part of the problem, property values. And, I don't want to pick on the state too much, but they by law, you have to be within a certain range of 100% of true and full value. The city can't just say, okay, this year we're gonna do 80% of the value of your home as far as taxes. We can't do that. So it's an ongoing problem. Education is always a problem, and we're always trying to figure out what's going on. A perfect example was this year. Notices had to be sent out that budget hearings were coming up and the date and time. Well, that's fine. People took that to mean that at the same time they got their preliminary tax statement. And so people showed up in droves, and I bet in Fargo too, to talk about their own personal property taxes when in fact that meeting was nothing but for the budget. So you had to try to explain that to a bunch of angry people, which doesn't always work out so well. So it's an educational thing, and I wish we could get rid of the term mill rate and go to just dollars. I think it would be a lot simpler for people to understand.
Mayor Mahoney?
Well, I think you have the option that you want as a homeowner. You do want your value to go up over time, so when you sell it, it works out pretty well for you. But the reality is our tax rate in the city of Fargo is 1.28, and I think that's a pretty reasonable property tax. Since 2008, we've actually driven the value of the taxable amount down. So it used to be at 2.02. So we've continued to drive your tax rate down on your home. So I still think everybody's working real hard to do that. But the other flip side of that, Joel, is people love great service. And that's the other thing you have to provide. We got to get those streets plowed right now So when you get out of here, Fargo will already have them plowed, Rich. No.
Mark?
Nice try, nice try.
I have a question for the Minnesota mayors. We talk about a workforce academy. We talk about collaboration, each on our own side of the borders. If this community moves forward with a metro area workforce academy, is that something Minnesota and North Dakota can join together on, or do you see some barriers caused by the border?
I'll start a little bit because I'm hearing the buzz about it, not seeing the details of it. And of course, we have 3 fine colleges in our community, and we try to make sure that they feel welcome. The Bridge Bash was something I approached Moorhead Business Association about because I wanted to make sure that our students felt like they were welcome here, and when they choose to finish their degree, they would look to our area first, and if they had an opportunity to come back, they would say, hey, hell yeah, we're coming back. We loved it there. So we already started doing some kinds of things like that to be welcoming. I always go to the Concordia, MSU, MM State and talk to their student governments and tell them that I want to be you to be my eyes and ears. Contact me, and they really do get engaged. So some ways we've been doing pieces of that before. I've heard pieces of this report that seems to be not fleshed out real well yet. I know it's in early stages, but it'll be interesting to see when that comes.
Absolutely, and I just want to mention that with the 3 institution of higher learning there on the Minnesota side, we already have one model, the Tri-College, that brings all 5 of those institutions together. So I think there is some groundwork out there. I think that's going to be one of the exciting events that the Chamber is involved with in this upcoming year.
Well,
Jeff?
please don't just focus on the institution of higher ed. As we're looking at college and career placement, from the high school graduation from that point forward, a young man visited me yesterday, 20 years old. He's a welder, and he's making $42,000 a year. So when we're talking about workforce, I want us to think full spectrum, and that also needs to include the new Americans. As we have immigrants come into our communities, right? That career piece, right, needs to include that language piece, needs to include, the social interaction piece, like how do you operate in the greater Fargo-Moorhead area. So it can't just be higher ed. It has to be full spectrum, 18 to 48.
And we have a good collaboration between NDS.
Yeah, they're...
and the
Thanks, Mom.
SGS. Where we think with the Chamber this year, they're going to come up with some great ideas.
Good.
Okay, we always promise to get you out of here on time.
Yep.
Mark, I'll let you get the closing comments.
All right, we'll wrap up. And Joel, once again, thank you for your involvement, and want to thank everybody in the audience for their participation. We know the time goes by too fast, but the videos were very entertaining, and the comments by the mayor were right on track. We're lucky to be living in this area where these public leader servants take such pride in what they're doing. Media Productions does a great job as always. Never a doubt that everything was going to work right. And as sort of as an addition to that, you're going to be able to turn to TV Fargo 56 in the future. We'll let you know when rebroadcasts of this event will show. So with that, and on behalf of the Chamber and Xcel Energy, thank you for attending the State of the Cities, and go out and have a great day.